If you watch basketball content on YouTube and TikTok, you probably heard of Rod Wave Elite, also known as RWE, but you may not be familiar with the context behind it, or what precisely it is. So, what exactly is it? Rod Wave Elite is an AAU basketball team that picks up kids on the spot and was started by famous YouTuber and influencer Cam Wilder. The team is named after Cam Wilder's favorite rapper and song artist, Rod Wave. RWE isn't a serious team, and is more so for content purposes, where they only play in one weekend tournaments and split up after that weekend, and it's more of an entertainment style of basketball for media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, rather than a kind of basketball where players are trying to get recruited. Cam, the creator of Rod Wave Elite, is a YouTuber who has amassed hundreds of thousands of subscribers in a short amount of time. Cam never took basketball that serious growing up and found himself at the end of the bench during his high school career. After bouncing around different NAIA and junior colleges, he was on the junior varsity team for Midland University, as well as a few other junior colleges. But as this was going on, Cam was doing TikTok as a side hobby and blew up on that platform and started to gain traction on YouTube for his park takeovers. Cam Wilder's content was originally based around going to parks and playing random people one-on-one, shoe collections, or even sneaking into AAU games and playing by himself with other grown-ups. Today, Wilder is one of the hottest faces in the social media world for basketball and posts content strictly around Rod Wave Elite, where he takes celebrities and 5-star recruits to the tournaments. At every game, media companies like Slam, Overtime, Ball is Life, and more flood the baselines. Cam Wilder and Rod Wave Elite travel all around the country to different states like Florida, Texas, New York, California, Georgia, and more to host tryouts, where he posts 3 to 4 videos for each state he goes to. The first video is for the tryouts, and the next 3 videos consist of each game that the team played in the tournament. These games garner huge crowds, where oftentimes all other games in the venue need to be shut down completely, and fans often storm the court. Since Cam started, he took on 2 players specifically that he brings to every single tournament, Nelson and Lavar, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Cam hosted his first Rod Wave Elite tryout in Houston a year ago, where he instantly blew up and took the internet by storm. It didn't take long for him to start racking up millions of views on his videos, to the point where the team started to become more selective. During his first tryout in Houston, under 100 kids showed up, but just recently in his New York tryout, close to 1,000 kids were at the tryout, to the point where the police came and Cam couldn't even run the tryout and had to relocate it to New Jersey the next day. The same was the case in Atlanta, where he hosted a tryout in Overtime Elite's giant facility, but had hundreds and thousands of people standing outside waiting to get in. Just a few months ago, as Cam went on to different cities for tournaments, the series was gaining more and more traction. With that, Cam started to take on 4 to 5-star recruits like Eli and Isaac Ellis, Justin McBride, Trey Parker, Cam Scott, Trent Perry, Adam Menjai, and many more. Cam's tournament in Dallas, Rod Wave Elite featured Eli and Isaac Ellis, 2 players for Overtime Elite that are big faces in the social media basketball world. When Rod Wave Elite went to New York, they featured TikTok influencers like Isaiah Fuller and Jake West. Next tournament in Atlanta got even crazier, where they featured their first full roster filled with 4 and 5 stars with guys like Ja'Kai Howard, Trey Parker, Cam Scott, and more. On this weekend in which I'm currently making the video, Rod Wave Elite is playing in Los Angeles and has a record high 10 combined 4 to 5-star recruits on their team in Trey Parker, John Mobley, TJ Crumble, Zion Sensley, Marcus Adams Jr., Steven Solano, Adam Menjai, Cam Scott, Jay Jackson, and Jeremiah Fears, and also have Nelson and Lavar on the same team. That tops their record set in Atlanta just 2 weeks prior. This past weekend in LA, Rod Wave Elite took the internet by storm. The arenas were flooded, and Rod Wave Elite came out dominating hot to start. But then, in the championship game against Drifty Elite, featuring other 5-star players like Ja'Kai Howard, Carter Bryant, and more, Rod Wave Elite lost by 20 points. But despite that, they racked up millions and millions of views, and their stint in Los Angeles was probably their best tournament yet. But as mentioned before, there are 2 main players that consistently play with Rod Wave Elite in every tournament, and their names are Nelson and Lavar. Nelson is a 14-year-old hooper about to enter the 8th grade, who made an appearance on RWE's first ever tryout. From there, Cam took him on the team immediately, as he saw his highlights prior to the tryout and knew he was good for his age. From there, Cam took Nelson under his wing and started to take him to every city RWE went to, and even made TikToks with him. That helped Nelson gain over 1 million followers on TikTok and a few 100,000 on Instagram. From then on, Nelson became known as one of the social media prodigies across the internet, attracting media companies like Overtime and Slam to his games. With Nelson being the little brother on the team, along with his personality, Nelson was able to grow a huge following. Being that he's playing 3 to 4 age groups up on RWE Elite, he often doesn't get much playing time, but when he does, the crowd definitely loves it. The second player, Lavar, is a 20-year-old hooper who graduated high school in 2021. Despite there being rumors that he's actually older than 20, I dug deep and found that Lavar actually did graduate in 2021 in King High School, and he isn't older than 20. He currently doesn't play college basketball anywhere, but he caught some attention playing for RWE Elite and being really athletic, throwing down some crazy dunks in the layup lines, while also having a very funny personality. Between Nelson, Lavar, and Cam, those three managed to take RWE Elite's fame to a whole nother level. Some perceive this fame as just hype, but I see it as an opportunity. This fame has changed numerous lives for RWE players, because in an era where high school and college players can earn money off their name, image, and likeness, RWE provides a platform for players like Nelson and Lavar, who may not be 5-star level players, to become a celebrity-like figure and sign brand endorsement deals, as well as gain a social media following that'll help them build their brand and earn money. It's safe to say Cam Wilder took the nation by storm with his 2023 tour, where he has so far made teams in Orlando, Chicago, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Dallas, Atlanta, and New York, and is going to North Carolina and San Antonio this coming August. This is only RWE Elite's second summer, but Wilder announced that RWE may be joining one of the shoe circuits next summer potentially. Nothing is 100% confirmed, but if this is true, this may blow up the internet. This definitely isn't the first social media based AAU basketball team that we've seen, but there arguably hasn't been one that's bigger than RWE. And if they manage to go bigger, this could be something like we've never seen before. And with their innovation, there will be no limit to what could be next. And it could grow to be something bigger and better than any of us could have ever imagined.